The hardest thing in this world to stop is someone who knows they've won before the game has started. Now, this isn't about arrogance, not at all. It's about a deep, unshakable internal conviction. It's about knowing, truly knowing, that you hold the blueprint to your own victory.
So in this explainer, we're going to construct a powerful framework together. We're going to move beyond just reacting to the world around us, and instead step into the role of its creator. This is all about becoming the architect of your own reality, and really understanding how you can build the life you want, brick by brick. Our whole framework is going to be built in three main parts. First up, we're going to lay the foundation with the architect's mindset. Then we'll drop the plans with the blueprint for action. And finally, we'll get to work and start building your momentum.
All right, let's dive right into part one, the architect's mindset. Look, before you can build any structure that's meant to last, the ground it stands on has to be absolutely solid. This is all about your inner world, the foundation upon which everything else is built.
In this foundation, it really rests on a crucial duality, a balancing act. You have to be both your biggest fan and your harshest critic. Being your biggest fan, that's all about celebrating your consistency, your commitment to just show up day after day. But being your critic, that's about demanding adaptation, holding yourself accountable for real, measurable growth. So let's really break down the roles these two forces play, okay? Consistency, that's the price of admission. It's your ticket to the game. It's you showing up day in, day out. It gets you in the door. But adaptation, man, that's what actually lets you win the game. Adaptation is having the self-awareness to look in the mirror and ask, okay, how can I be better? Because without adaptation, consistency just means you're getting really, really good at a losing strategy. Yeah, but what if the world is against you? This is a question we all run into, isn't it? It feels so personal. The setbacks, the roadblocks, it can feel like the universe is singling you out. But what if that entire idea is just flat out wrong? Here's the perspective shift that changes, well, pretty much everything. Life is neutral. The challenges you face, they are not a personal attack on you or your goals. They're not. They're just events. That's it.
This is a really powerful tool called depersonalization. See, when you take things personally, a project that fails, a harsh comment, you waste so much energy being angry or defensive. But when you depersonalize it, you see it for what it truly is, a puzzle that needs to be solved. Your energy immediately shifts from fighting some imaginary enemy to simply finding the solution that's been sitting right in front of you.
Okay, so with that mindset as our foundation, let's move on to part two, the blueprint for action. A solid mindset is absolutely essential, but let's be honest, it's pretty worthless without a plan. This is how we translate our thoughts into actual deeds.
You know, Robert Frost once wrote, "Freedom lies in being bold." And that's so true. This part isn't about finding safety. It's about having the courage to actually do something, to make a move. This boldness, this is the ink we're going to use to draw our blueprints.
So, what's with this number? 46 times. What in the world could that mean?
Well, it represents this absolutely staggering advantage, and it comes from a fascinating place, a study of leadership in the wild.
See, this number comes from a study of wolves in Yellowstone. And what they found was that the wolves infected with the parasite that made them bolder, while they were an astonishing 46 times more likely to become pack leaders. The takeaway here is pretty hard to argue with, right? Boldness isn't just a personality trait, it's a direct path to leadership. With risk comes reward.
And listen, you don't have to be the statistical favorite to win, not at all. I mean, just look at this incredible World Cup upset. The powerhouse team, Argentina, they dominated the ball, they had 5 times as many shots on goal, and they still lost. Why? Because Saudi Arabia had far fewer opportunities, but they made every single one of them count. And that right there is the heart of it. Maybe some days it feels like life is outshooting you 15-3. It doesn't matter. Winning isn't about having the best odds. It's about making the most of the shots you actually get. It's about finding a way to win.
This all leads to this amazing concept called created probability. So stop thinking about success like it's some kind of lottery, with one winning red marble in a giant jar of a million green ones. No. Every single time you show up, every time you adapt, every bold step you take, you are physically reaching into that jar and swapping out a green marble for a red one. You are actively, deliberately creating your own odds.
And that brings us perfectly to our final section, part 3, building your momentum. We've got the mindset, we've got the blueprint, now it's time to execute. This is where the structure really starts coming to life.
In execution, it all starts with this simple, brilliant principle from the great Peter Drucker. If you want to improve something, you have to measure it. Think about it. If you're not measuring it, you're just guessing. You're flying blind. Let's just take a simple example, like tracking YouTube subscribers. The simple act of writing that number down every single day, it kicks off this amazing little cycle. First, you measure. This simple act creates awareness, which keeps your growth right at the front of your mind. That awareness sharpens your focus, because what you focus on really does become your reality. And finally, all of this gives you the data you need to improve, turning pure guesswork into real strategy.
You know, so often in life, when we're staring at a locked door, we think we need some huge, complex, dramatic solution. We go out looking for a metaphorical sledgehammer.
But the truth is, the answer is usually so much simpler. It's small, it's elegant, it's the key that's been right there, in our pocket the entire time. A tiny adjustment to how you start your morning, a small tweak in how you talk to your team. These are the keys that unlock massive progress.
And that brings us to the final, and maybe the most powerful way to build unstoppable momentum. You have to eliminate the possibility of retreat. You have to become so committed to moving forward that going back simply isn't an option anymore. You have to burn the boats.
So why is this so incredibly powerful? Why does it work? Well, think about it. When walking away is completely off the table, your brain literally stops looking for an escape hatch, and it starts looking for a solution. It forces you to get creative, to find a way no matter what. When forward is the only direction left, all that potential you have inside you is transformed into undeniable strength.
So let's pull all of this together, from the mindset to the blueprint to the momentum. The most crucial point of all is this: you are not just a passive observer in your life. You are not at the mercy of the world. You are its architect. You are creating it.
So, the foundation is laid, the blueprints are in your hand, and the tools are ready to go. The only real question that remains is the one you have to answer for yourself, not just right now, but every single day. You are the architect. So, what will you build? You know, you were brave once. Do you remember that? You really need to make sure that doesn't become some ghost story you tell about a person you used to be. The applause from yesterday, it's gone. Those trophies are just gathering dust. And the courage that wants to find you, well, it can't pay today's dues. See, life isn't a museum for your past glories. It's an arena, and it is demanding you show up right now. So today, we are not here to reminisce. We're here to dismantle the comfortable lie that past bravery buys you a lifetime pass from future discomfort. It's time to stop being a static monument to who you were and start becoming a dynamic movement toward who you were always meant to be. All right, let's get into it. This right here, this is the brutal, beautiful truth at the center of everything. This quote, it doesn't just whisper, it gets right in your face. Life is this relentless, present tense force. It has absolutely no reverence for your past wins, no sentimentality for the person you were on last year's highlight reel. Its only question, the one it asks you every single morning when you look in the mirror, is who are you now? So how are you answering that? Are you just pointing to the past? Or are you actually building something in the present? Because listen, you cannot solve tomorrow's challenges with yesterday's courage. That version of you, as incredible as they were, is gone. You've evolved. The game has changed. A new answer is required. And this brings us to the first great trap, the danger of becoming a monument to your past. I mean, think about what a monument really is. It's stone. It's static. It's admired for something that's, well,
Finished. A story whose final chapter has already been written. It's a beautiful place to visit for sure, but it's a terrible state to live in. So now we're going to explore how celebrating who you were can be the very chain that holds you back from who you're meant to become.
This slide lays out a really stark contrast, right? It's the fundamental choice we all have to make. On one side, you've got the monument. It's fixed. It's unchanging. It's just living off the fading echoes of yesterday. And there's a certain safety there. It's comfortable, you know it, it's predictable. But then you look at the other side, the movement. Dynamic, growing, fueled by the raw possibility of tomorrow. That's uncertain. It's demanding. It is relentlessly alive. The really insidious problem is that we often build these monuments to ourselves without even thinking about it. We hang our whole identity on a past success, one single act of courage, and we just stop moving. We tell ourselves we've earned the right to stay still, but the world, it doesn't stay still for anyone.
Seriously, I want you to answer this, just to yourself, honestly. What was it? That moment you walked through the fire, when you spoke up even though your voice was shaking, when you took that leap when there was no visible net below. Take a second. Don't just remember it, feel it. That tightness in your chest, that rush of adrenaline. That person, the one who took that risk, they weren't some hero from a storybook. They were you. They didn't wait for permission or for some guarantee. They just moved. That version of you is not a relic to be put in a museum. It's a blueprint. It's living proof of what you're capable of when you choose movement over a monument.
And this is the critical point we have to get into our heads. Courage is not a one-time payment that covers you for life. It's a subscription, and the bill comes due every single day. We hold up that past act of bravery like it's a shield, hoping it'll protect us from what's coming next. But life's not impressed. It doesn't care about last month's bravery. It's staring at you right now asking, okay, what's next? True, sustainable courage isn't some single event. It's a daily decision to step into the unknown, to let go of who you were just long enough to make some room for who you can become.
So this leads us to a really important question. What happens when you choose to just stay a monument? The result isn't some big dramatic collapse. No, it's something far more sinister. The daily erosion of self. It's a slow, quiet, almost imperceptible process of just giving yourself away, one little piece at a time. It's the subtle decay that happens while you're busy polishing the trophies of the past.
This definition just perfectly illustrates the concept. Imagine dunes on a beach, right? They don't just vanish in a giant tidal wave. They erode grain by grain, day after day, carried away by a wind so gentle you barely even notice it, until one day, what was once this towering form is just flat and unrecognizable. We do the exact same thing to our identity. It's the small daily concessions. I'll just blend in here. I'll keep my opinion to myself this time. You know what? It's not worth the fight. I'll just go along with it. Every single one seems harmless, just a minor compromise for a quiet life. But they are acts of erosion, quietly detaching you from your core.
And this slide breaks down that whole insidious process. It always starts with one small concession. You bite your tongue when every fiber of your being is screaming at you to speak up. That small act then compromises a core belief, even if it's just by a fraction of a degree. And this compromised belief, well, it makes it easier to take an action that's misaligned with who you really are. And then you just repeat this cycle over and over until your identity itself is redefined not by your convictions, but by your concessions. You become a hollowed-out product of your own compromises.
This quote is just chilling because it feels like a documentary, not a drama. Picture a straight line. On one end is the person you are in your soul, your values, your beliefs. On the other end is everything you're not. Every time you make one of those small concessions, you take a tiny, almost invisible step toward the wrong end of that line. It's just a little step, but then you take another and another. And one day you catch your reflection in a window and a stranger is looking back at you. You didn't just leap there, you drifted there. One small, seemingly insignificant step at a time.
So how do we stop this erosion? How do we reverse this drift? Well, the key to stopping it, the actual antidote, lies in fundamentally changing our relationship with fear. We have to change how we see discomfort itself. We have to ask ourselves, is it a monster to run from, or is it an invitation to something more?
This slide brings up the idea of a default setting. See, the mind you're born with, your factory-installed operating system, it's designed for one main purpose: preservation, not expansion. Its job is to keep you safe in the now. So its default setting treats fear like a monster and discomfort as a signal to retreat. But that setting, while useful for avoiding saber-toothed tigers, is profoundly insufficient for building a life of meaning. You have to consciously upgrade your mindset. You have to reprogram yourself to see fear not as a stop sign, but as a GPS coordinate that's marking the exact edge of your growth. You have to learn to see discomfort as an invitation to evolve.
And this quote just captures that upgraded mindset perfectly. The pain is an invitation. That feeling in your stomach, your shaking knees, your pounding chest, that's not a warning that you're about to die. That is the biological signal that you are getting closer to something that truly matters. It's the feeling of leveling up. It's a system upgrade disguised as the monster. The adversary you've been taught to run from is actually the ally you must learn to befriend. Because on the other side of that feeling is everything you claim you want.
Okay, so once we've reframed fear, the next crucial step is to build an unwavering, almost irrational self-belief. This brings us to our fourth section. We have this destructive tendency to put other people on a pedestal, to see their success as some kind of proof of a special, unattainable quality that we just don't have. But what if the only thing they have that you don't is the sheer audacity to believe it's possible for them?
So, let me tell you this story. A friend of mine, a budding entrepreneur, he paid a massive amount of money. We're talking tens of thousands of dollars, just to spend a weekend with a business mentor he'd admired from afar for years. He was convinced this guy held the secrets, the systems, the magic formula for success. It was the biggest investment he had ever made in himself. So he gets there for the weekend, notebooks ready, and within just a few hours, he felt this crushing sense of disappointment. The mentor was disorganized, his whole operation felt chaotic, nothing seemed methodical or extraordinary or groundbreaking, the secrets were just common sense principles, and honestly, they were pretty poorly executed. He just could not believe he had spent a fortune to be there. Now you'd think he'd be furious, right? Feel completely ripped off. But when he was asked about it later, he said with this huge grin on his face that it was the absolute best money he had ever spent in his entire life. And the reason for that, well, it changes everything. That was the multi-thousand-dollar realization. In that exact moment of disappointment, he learned the most valuable lesson of his career. If this person can achieve all this, what in the world is my excuse? What is stopping me? He realized he had placed this person on a pedestal they didn't deserve, and by doing that, he had put an artificial ceiling on his own potential. The mentor's greatest gift wasn't his wisdom, it was his mediocrity. It totally shattered the illusion that success only belongs to some special few. So, the real point is this: that special thing we think other people have, it's almost never what we imagine it to be. It's not some magical talent or superhuman intellect. It is the courage to start when you're not ready. It's the gritty willingness to show up again after getting knocked down. And most importantly, it's the audacity to believe in yourself before there's any external evidence to justify it. I mean, think about Michael Jordan being cut from his high school varsity team. He didn't have the proof of greatness yet. He had the belief. He gave himself permission to become that guy. So the question is, who is giving you permission? So, we've reframed fear. We've started to build self-belief. Our final section is about putting it all into practice. It's time to stop being a theorist and become a practitioner. It's time to become a movement. This is where we learn the mechanics of persistence and the hidden physics of breakthroughs.
I love this analogy from the source material. In American football, when a team goes for it on 4th down with just 1 yard to go, the coach's decision is judged entirely by the outcome. If they get the yard, he's a bold genius. If they fail, he's a reckless fool. But here's the key. In both situations, the approach, the process, the decision-making, it was identical. We do this in our own lives all the time. We have one bad experience, one failed attempt, and we conclude our entire approach is flawed. We just burn it all down. But sometimes it's not the approach that's wrong, it's the number of reps. You cannot judge the validity of your pursuit based on one single arbitrary outcome. You have to commit to the process.
This just brilliantly illustrates the power of unseen progress. The author James Clear explains this so well. If you have an ice cube in a room that's at 25 degrees Fahrenheit and you slowly raise the temperature, you see absolutely nothing happen. 28 degrees, 30, 31, still nothing. It's just a solid, useless block of ice. And then you hit 32 degrees and a massive transformation begins. The breakthrough, the melting, it doesn't happen at 32 degrees. The work began back at 26. All that effort before wasn't wasted. It was being stored, stacking up, totally unseen until the tipping point was finally reached. Your work is stacking up. Don't you dare give up at 31 degrees.
And this is the formula. This is where it all comes together. Every great achievement in human history lives at this exact intersection. You have to have both forces. Belief without action, that's just delusion. And action without belief is totally unsustainable. You'll quit at the first sign of real trouble. But when you combine an unwavering, almost irrational belief in yourself with the relentless, consistent daily action needed to bring that belief into the world, that is when you become unstoppable. That is when you manufacture your own 32-degree moment.
Let's end on this powerful thought from Edison, a man who knew a thing or two about persistence. How many people walk away from their life's work completely unaware that they were just one more phone call, one more attempt, one more degree of heat away from their breakthrough? The line between monumental failure and legendary success is often so thin you can't even see it. The very thing that you need to win often disguises itself as the reason to quit, telling you to try something else when in reality you are right there, knocking at the door of your own greatness. So we end where we began, with a choice, a fundamental choice that defines everything else. Look at the life you're living. Look at the decisions you're making today. Are you building a monument to who you once were, endlessly polishing a past that can no longer serve you? Or are you fueling a movement toward who you have yet to become? The past is a lesson, not a life sentence. Yesterday's courage was just the warm-up. The world doesn't need another monument to what used to be. It needs you, the real you, right here, right now. The choice, as always, is yours.
You know, there's a moment deep inside every difficult journey where the voice of reason just tells you to stop, where every single muscle fiber, every rational thought is screaming at you to turn back. And right there, that single moment, that is the only moment that actually matters. It's the decision point, not between success and failure, but between who you are right now and who you are truly capable of becoming. So let's talk about that, the will to begin, especially right when you want to end.
Just take a breath and let that one sink in. See, pain is a signal. It's a season. It's a storm that will pass. But the decision to quit, well, that's a final destination. It carves a piece out of you that just never grows back. And that's the truth we've got to anchor ourselves to when the walls start closing in.
If struggle is a given, and it is, then the only thing we can control, our only variable, is meaning. So the question isn't how to avoid the pain, because let's be honest, you can't. The real work, the hard work, is in transforming what that pain means. How do we learn to see the architecture of our future strength being built right inside our present obstacle?
Okay, let's start with the first core concept here, the valley and the view. This is all about understanding the fundamental rhythm of life and achievement. And trust me, it's a law as reliable as gravity. Think about it. Every great accomplishment is a summit, and between every single summit, there's a valley. It's down there, in the mud, in the dark, in the quiet struggle. That's where we lose our way. The pain becomes so consuming, the walk feels so long, that the memory of the last incredible view just fades, and the hope for the next one, it starts to feel like a fantasy. But here's the crucial point you have to remember. The next summit isn't just a possibility. It is an inevitability, just waiting for you to keep walking.
And this, right here, this captures the essential mindset shift perfectly. This journey, with its own unique blend of chaos and challenge, it's like your fingerprint on the world. It's not some burden you have to carry. It's a privilege you get to undertake. You get to forge strength. You get to discover what you're really made of. This is your path, and yours alone.
All right, let's move on to our next idea. This one deconstructs one of the biggest mental roadblocks we all face, what I call the myth of the 1%.
You know, we look at the titans of industry, the record-breaking athletes, the world-changing artists, and so often we chalk it up to some kind of genetic lottery, right? That they were just born different. But is extraordinary achievement really a matter of chance? Or is it something far more accessible and, well, far more demanding?
So this slide offers a really powerful reframe. We tend to think of success like pulling the single red marble from a jar of 99 blue ones, an act of pure dumb luck. But the reality is that the world isn't a jar of marbles. It's an arena of will. It's not that only 1% can achieve something incredible. It's that only 1% are willing to do what is required, to endure the rejection, to master the boredom, to make the sacrifices. It's a choice, my friends, not a ticket. And this right here, this gives us a new, powerful definition of pain. It is not the universe punishing you. It's not a sign telling you to stop. Pain is a filter. It's life's great sorting mechanism, and it separates those who are truly committed to the result from those who are only interested in the dream. Discomfort is the price of admission for greatness.
Robin Sharma captured this perfectly. You just can't have an uncommon life with common habits. It doesn't work that way. If you want the results that only a tiny fraction of people ever achieve, you have to embrace the behaviors that same fraction is willing to live by. The choice is always there, the ease of conformity right now or the pride of excellence later.
So, if it's all about will, all about choice, where do we point that energy? This brings us to the power of intentional focus, and let's call it your moon landing.
I want you to consider this for a moment. As a species, we solve the physics, the engineering, the logistics to put a human being on the moon. An absolutely, seemingly impossible task, right? Achieved through relentless, unified focus. And yet, we still can't solve traffic in our major cities. Why? It's simple. We get what we focus on. We achieve what we decide is a priority. The moon was a priority. Traffic is just an accepted annoyance.
And this isn't just a lesson for society. It is a diagnostic tool for your life. We are all gardeners of our own reality. What you give your attention to, your energy, your time, that is what's going to grow. So the question becomes intensely personal. Where is your spotlight? Are you watering the weeds of doubt and distraction, or are you nurturing the seed of your own moon landing?
Okay, so how do we make this practical? It really comes down to a simple 4-step process. First, you have to identify your one critical goal. That's your moon landing. Second, you place your undivided spotlight on it, and that means saying no to almost everything else. Third, you measure your progress relentlessly, because what gets measured gets managed. And finally, you adjust your approach based on the data, not on how you're feeling that day.
You know, from the outside, your eventual success is going to look like a miracle. To everyone else, it will appear to have come from nowhere, but you will know the truth. It wasn't some sudden event. It was the compound interest of thousands of simple, daily decisions to give your most important goal your time and your attention. You watered it, and so it grew.
This leads us directly to what is often the biggest hurdle of all, the moment of just beginning. So let's look at the next principle, the empty room mandate. It's all about taking imperfect action right now.
We are seduced by the idea of the perfect start. You know what I'm talking about. The perfect plan, the perfect tools, the perfect moment. But waiting for perfect, it's the most beautiful and treacherous form of procrastination there is. It's just an excuse dressed up as high standards.
But here's the secret. When you start messy, your imperfections actually become your greatest asset. They become your story. Nobody is inspired by the person who had it all from day one.
We connect with the person who built an empire from an empty room, who started a podcast with a cheap microphone, who built an incredible physique with 2 dumbbells in a garage. Your struggle is your connection point to the world.
So the mandate is not to get ready. The mandate is to begin. Start with the tools you have. Start from the room you are in right this second. Start before you feel confident. The resources you think you need are not in the future. The opportunity you're looking for is contained entirely in this present moment, right now.
And this right here, this gets to the absolute heart of it. The real prize isn't the flawless final product. The prize is the person you are forced to become when you commit to making progress with less than ideal circumstances. That's where character and resourcefulness and true strength are forged.
Now let's bring all of these ideas home with one final unifying metaphor that really reframes this entire process: the symphony of struggle.
I want you to think of your life not as a checklist of events, but as a complete musical composition, a symphony. And in any great symphony, every single note has a purpose. The triumphant high notes, the somber low notes, the frantic fast parts, and the powerful silent pauses. They are all essential to the beauty of the whole.
This is what completely changes our relationship with hardship. See, in a symphony, the low, difficult notes, they're what make the high notes feel so soaring and triumphant. The tension and the struggle are what make the final crescendo so breathtakingly magnificent. Your adversity is not an interruption to your life song, it is the song. The contrast is where the magic is created.
And so we end here with a choice. As the saying goes, we must all suffer one of 2 pains. There's the pain of discipline, the sting of effort, the discomfort of the valley, the fear of the empty room. It is temporary. Or there's the pain of regret, that hollow, permanent ache of what could have been. One pain forges you, the other haunts you. A choice has to be made. Which one will it be?